Welcome back to In the Box with Alex. It's the Fifth Line 5R show powered by the 5 Green Sports Network. I'm your host, Alex. The Florida Panthers just came off of a 5-1 victory against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The day before, I believe they beat them 4-2. The Panthers finished their season series against the Jackets 7-0-1, claiming 15 of a possible 16 points. The Panthers are tied for first place in the Discover Central Division with the Carolina Hurricanes. And guess who we have in the next two games? The Carolina Hurricanes. We are 1-5 against the Canes this year. Well, we've lost 5 games, but a couple were in overtime. Basically, we haven't got over that hump. If we're looking at the standings right now, they got 2 games ahead of us, 2 games in hand. The Lightning, 1 game less played than the Panthers, but they're 3 points behind the Cats, meaning the Panthers are actually ahead of them in the standings. Carolina Panthers, they're tied, but the 2 games in hand, we'll see what happens. Quickly, let's talk about what happened in Sunrise against Columbus last night. Panthers came out hot. Spencer Knight, 20-year-old goalie, just turned 20 2 days ago, makes his NHL debut. The 2019 first overall pick of the Florida Panthers, former Boston College Eagle. He played in the World Juniors for Team USA this year, won a gold medal, actually played in 3 straight World Juniors, dating back to when he was 17 years old. He got the start last night. He actually had 33 saves on 34 shots, only let in 1 goal, which was shorthanded. He looked so calm in net. He looked really good handling the puck. Just turned 20 literally the night before. He was a teenager 2 days before his NHL debut. He comes in, first star of the game. Absolutely unbelievable. The future is bright with him. I think the Panthers just wanted to get him in a game right now. They knew they had Columbus's number. That's why he got the start. I'm not sure if he gets another game down the road unless there's an injury, but they're probably going to just ride Bob and Drieger. That's probably the plan. But what an individual performance by him. First game, NHL debut. He gets his first career win. Let's talk about the new South Florida line, the 9-1-1 line, as Steve Goldstein said. Anthony Duclair, Sam Bennett, and Jonathan Huberdeau, number 9, 91, and 11. That's why it's the 9-1-1 line. They're hot. Sam Bennett's only played 3 games as a Florida Panther. He had 2 goals last night. Huberdeau had 3 points, and Duclair continued his point streak, also had 3 points. That line combined for 8 points on the Panthers, 5 goals. Anthony Duclair is running a 7-game point streak. Jonathan Huberdeau leads the team in points. This is a new line. It's only played together 3 times. They're 3-0 riding that line. Sam Bennett is born to be a Florida Panther. Manny was talking about it earlier. He knows how to play hockey. This guy stands up for his teammates. He dropped the mitts a couple nights ago against Columbus when someone took a high shot on Duclair. Sam Bennett is a great hockey player. He had 4 goals this season in Calgary. In 3 games with the Panthers, he already has 3 goals. He's built for competitive hockey. He's built for playoff hockey. He has a great playoff resume. When it comes to playoff time for the Panthers, Sam Bennett is that guy that's going to be dependable, and that's why they went out and made the move. Other Panther additions, Nikita Gusev still hasn't got a goal yet, but he got a point last night. I think he got a point the game before. He's so close to hitting the back of the net, but he's a magician with the passing. He can find open areas on the ice. I can't wait for Carter Verhaeghe to come back. That first line is going to be Gusev, Barkov, and Verhaeghe. It's going to be really fun to watch. And, of course, the defense. Nudavara looks like a completely different player. The last 5-6 nights, he's been on fire. He was running a 3-game point streak until – actually, he got a point last night. I think he's on a 4-game point streak now. He's paired alongside new Panther Brandon Montour. Montour was in Buffalo. He looks pretty solid here in Florida. That line looks really good. Gustav Forsling. Mackenzie Weegar was out the last couple games. Forsling is now the number 1 defenseman. Crazy how he was a waiver pickup at the beginning of the season. And with injuries to Ekblad and Weegar, Gustav Forsling is the top defenseman on the Florida Panthers right now, at least. Brandon Montour actually played the most minutes last night. Looks like he hit about 19 minutes. Panthers ran 7 defensemen last night. Matt Keir said you ought to look. Keith Yandel was – him and Yandel were the 6th and 7th defensemen. I don't know what they're going to do going forward. Yandel's running that Iron Man streak. I don't see them taking him out of the lineup. So we'll see what Q does with that. I want to look a little bit into the Carolina series now. We haven't done good against Carolina at all. We got the first game on them. And after that, they took 5 straight on us. Vincent Trocheck, he's a Panthers killer, former Florida Panther, absolutely demolishing the Panthers right now. The thing is, this new Panthers team, with Sam Bennett, with Brandon Montour, with Nikita Gusev, they haven't played against the Canes yet. Sam Bennett's the kind of guy that will help you win a series against Carolina and will help you win games against Carolina. Florida was lacking a physical presence up front. Radko Gudas, the butcher, he's a human wrecking ball on the back end. Sam Bennett is one of the hardest hitting forwards in the NHL. In his 3 games with the Panthers, he's had multiple big hits. He's had fights, goals, assists. He's doing everything. Carolina's not going to know what's going to hit them when Sam Bennett's coming down. When you have Duclair, Bennett, and Huberdeau coming down on you, they're not going to know what's coming. Bennett and that line needs to continue their dominance in these 2 games against Carolina, because if you drop both of these games to the Hurricanes, kiss that number 1 seed goodbye. There's 9 games left in the season. After you finish the Carolina series, you have 7. If you drop both, not only do they still have 2 games ahead of you, they have the tiebreaker, and they're 4 points ahead of you in the standings. You're not catching Carolina. Tampa's slipping a bit. You need to take advantage right now and beat Carolina. You need to get at least 1 game, but you probably, looking forward, if you get both of them, it's looking good. But you need to put your best performance against Carolina. They haven't done that this season. I think with these new additions, they might be able to. Hoping we have a couple of the guys who were injured coming back into the lineup. Let's hope Noel Acciari's back. We don't know what's going on with Carter Verhaeghe, Mackenzie Weegar. I don't think they're too serious of injuries from what I've heard, but they're still not in the lineup. I don't know what's going on. As long as they're healthy by playoff time, that's good. The Florida Panthers haven't clinched a playoff spot yet. No one has. But over the next couple of games, if Nashville drops a couple and Florida wins a couple, there's a chance that by Saturday we could see the Panthers clinch a playoff spot. And as a Panthers fan, you all know we're normally waiting for the last couple of days of the season to see if we're getting in the playoffs. Nothing's confirmed yet, but it's looking pretty good. It's looking like you're going to get one of those top 3 spots. You're fighting for playoff position now. The Panthers are a playoff team. They have 30 wins already. They are a really good hockey team. They're top 5 in the NHL. Now you're just playing for position. You're getting your lines together. It seems like that second line isn't going to be broken up with Duclair, Huberdeau, and Bennett. When Verhaeghe's back, he's taking his spot on that Barkov line, probably alongside Nikita Gusev. Ryan Lomberg, he had a big fight last night. He had a goal. He's putting in his shift on the 4th line. You got to try and put your best hockey out against Carolina, because they haven't done that in the last couple of games. It seems like even when they play Tampa, it's very competitive hockey. Even with Carolina, the games are close for a bit, and then third period collapse. Every single time there's been a third period collapse. You can't have that happen, especially this close to the playoffs, when there's a very good chance you're going to see Carolina in the first round. And if you don't see Carolina in the first round, you're probably getting Tampa unless you get that number 1 seed. But if you don't beat Carolina this week, you're probably not getting that number 1 seed just because of the points, the games in hand, and obviously the tiebreaker. After that, you have Nashville. Nashville's been running hot. The Panthers have had Nashville's number this year, but the Predators have been pretty hot lately. They didn't sell at the deadline. They added a couple of complimentary pieces. You got a couple games against Chicago. You got never an easy game against Dallas. Jason Robertson seems like a Panthers killer too. They're fighting for their playoff lives. And then we end the season against Tampa Bay. It's looking like we might wait until the last 2 games of the season to see where the Panthers are going to be in this playoff scenario, because the way it's been all year in the Central Division, 1, 2, and 3 have been separated by 1, 2, or 3 points at most. And when one team slips, it seems the other team slipped too, and they're just staying so close together. May 8th and May 10th at the BB&T Center, if you can go, I would show up, because those are going to be playoff-like hockey games, and it's probably going to dictate the standings heading into the playoffs. That's pretty much it. Just a quick little wrap-up show we got here today. Make sure you subscribe to the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. make sure you head over to our store so you can check out the merchandise we have. You got the Cardiac Cat shirt. We already know Frank Vetrano, one of the leaders of that Cardiac Cat crew, with all the overtime comeback goals and third period goals he scored. We also got the Quinville shirts, the Bob shirts. Make sure you turn on your post notifications for the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the follow button at 5th Line 5R on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at abaumgartner91, and make sure you check out the 5 Reasons Sports Network Twitter. We keep you updated every game night for the Florida Panthers, whether that's a trade. Obviously, the trade deadline's over now, but roster acquisitions, transactions, game breaks, stuff like that. I'll see you next time on In the Box with Alex. Same time as always, right here on Wednesdays on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.